Great. So, hi and welcome to the Rising Stars webinar for March 2023. Just a quick introduction for those who are new to the Rising Stars webinar. My name is Karima Kiat and I am the Marketing Manager for GRB and will be hosting today. So as the Marketing Manager, I oversee the candidate growth, the overall marketing activity for GRB, and having worked for GRB just over 3 years now, and in all different departments, I've got a wide range of experience over the years as well. So along with that, I manage GRB's affiliate program, which allows students to recommend us in exchange for some excellent rewards and incentives. I also organize the yearly events that we go to, such as any careers fairs or freshers fairs. And I also look after our free mentoring program, Graduate Mentor, which I will tell you a little bit more about later. But of course, then we have our Rising Stars. So first of all, I will tell you a little bit more about us as a company in general. And then we can also move on to our three wonderful candidates. So the GRB Group was founded 26 years ago by Dan Hawes and Chris Cater, the two gentlemen on the screen, and have grown it to become the go-to platform for university students, recent graduates, alumni, and recruiters as well. So we have now over 75 staff and over 2,000 clients across all sectors, with clients such as Amazon, IBM, Unilever, and Ocado, and several other fast-growing SMEs as well. And our recruitment experts have successfully matched over thousands of graduates with graduate or executive level jobs too. So we are not the average recruitment agency. We have many other aspects to us, so including our two experienced hire divisions. So first of all, we have Cortex, which supplies IT grads with up to 5 years of experience. Then we have Metrica, which supplies numerate grads with up to 5 years of analytical experience to organizations all across the UK. So next we have Graduate Mentor, which I mentioned earlier. So we launched Graduate Mentor in August 2020, and as a free platform for graduates and students to have one-to-one mentoring sessions with experts in their fields. So we now actually have over 5,000 graduates on the platform and over 300 mentors too. And they're all kindly volunteering to offer career advice, CV help, and interview tips, and the range of other things as well to help. Next, we have our LinkedIn groups. So, we have a number of these where we have discussions with recruiters, students, and grads about their experiences. Next, we have GRN. So that stands for Graduate Recruiters Network. Now, this is an invitation-only group for clients and associates. And we actually have now over 3,400 mentors. And we talk about various issues within graduate recruitment, and we have regular monthly webinars as well to discuss that. So next we have our Rising Stars. So this came about by our recruitment experts contacting students and graduates and identifying those who really stood out. So this is a really great opportunity for graduate employers to see through a shop window of our pick of the UK's finest talent. So every month, our team of experts carefully screen and select who they think are exceptional university students, essentially the best in class for 2023. So we showcase a short list of 50 rising stars on our website, enabling you to view their profiles and request their CV, and the access is entirely free for yourself. So every 2 months, we host a short webinar just like this one, interviewing a small selection of the rising stars. So just to discuss more about what they're looking for from their employer and where they want to start their career. So as you can see, there are many facets to the GRB group, and I thought I'd just give you a little overview of them to give you a good understanding who we are as a company today. Now we can find out about our three rising stars that we have here today. I will have them introduce themselves to you now, and then give a brief overview of their background, and then we can find out a little bit more about them. So Tom, would you like to start off, introduce yourself?
Yes, hello. My name's Tom Lancaster. I'm a computer science student at the University of Bath and graduating in June. I've got a strong background in software development, cybersecurity, and virtual reality development from couple of different internships as well as personal projects I've worked on. I'm very passionate about leveraging technology to create innovative solutions and enhance user experiences, and as well as solving real-world problems.
Thank you, Tom. And Robertas, how about you?
Hi, I'm Robertas. I'm from Lithuania. I've been in England for about 12 years. I did my undergrad in aerospace engineering. Was awarded first class, and I'm currently doing a master's in data science with a business and management pathway. Um, I work as a web content manager for learnforgood.com. I'm also starting my own business at the moment to provide catering services at large events starting this summer. Yeah, I've actually got an offer already for after my master's, but I'm just still currently exploring options. Yeah.
Great. Thank you, Robertas. And Struan, how about you?
Hi, yeah, so I'm Struan, which is a very Scottish name. I was born in Scotland and I've been raised there. I'm currently at St Andrews, doing an integrated master's in chemistry, so it's all kind of wrapped up in one. My focus for the last kind of year has been computational chemistry. So it's been sort of driven by making sort of large data sets and sorting through them, many thousands of points, and trying to visualize them and make them look kind of cool as well, and trying to sort through maybe the interesting things there. So I'm very interested in that data kind of side, the computational side, and yeah, currently looking for a job.
Great. Thank you, Struan. So you're all just over halfway through your final year now, and you'll be free and ready to enter the world of work soon. So what would you be looking for in an employer, and what are your expectations for the next role? So Tom, would you like to go first?
Yeah, for me, the primary thing is sort of a general word of flexibility. So obviously, hybrid work is an important thing, but also more so being able to learn and progress quite a bit, because even before university, learning is sort of the key thing that keeps me motivated for most things. And then on top of that, being able to be responsible for the outcomes I do, rather than obviously as a graduate getting that responsibility and getting practice with doing your own work and seeing how it actually has an impact on the business is sort of those key aspects that really make me interested in an employer.
Thank you, Tom. That's great. Yeah, learning on the job really, it's important to just keep teaching yourself things and keep learning from your employer as well. So it is important. So thank you. Robertas, how about you?
So I'd like to see strong sorry, mentorship programs to guide me through the process of finally starting a full-time job, as it's a very different dynamic to what I'm used to, and to have someone recommend and lead me into for proper professional development. Also, like allowed to choose for the kind of certifications and courses I like to do, and also for me, the most exciting thing for within a job would be the innovation and research that is carried out, and I think that's what excites me the most, is working on new technology. So the job becomes not a chore, but as a interesting, and yeah, that's I also I play career path progression, as linking back to the mentorship, because coming out of university, we've the first role we will land will probably not be the role that we're gonna be doing in 5 or 10 years time, and it's all about finding yourself in what's your strongest skills, what can you work on further. Yeah.
Great. Thank you, Robertus. Yeah, exactly. It's a learning curve, isn't it? So it's important to have the support in that transition. So yeah, agreed on all of those points. Struan, how about you?
Yeah, so I suppose one of the most important things is you want to feel invested upon by the company itself. You know, you want to feel like you're a valued member of the team, especially as a graduate just going straight into the job. You know, you want to be able to provide maybe some input that would be helpful. You want to have the mentorship, sort of echoing what's been mentioned before. And yeah, you want to feel like you're doing something very rewarding as well, right? Because that's going to power you through doing these projects, maybe kind of long-term projects. You know, you're looking at consistent guidance from managers, and you need to keep up the enthusiasm, I suppose, for them. So you've got to keep the interest going. And yeah, being able to kind of talk to people as well, if it's kind of client based, being able to find out kind of what's going on there and being able to speak and understand the business fully. Yeah.
Great, thank you, Struan. So, yeah, a couple of you mentioned the mentorship. So it is really important to have that support as well. And I mean, if your next role doesn't have that kind of connection with the mentorship, we do, like I mentioned earlier, we have graduate mentors as well, which we can match you with a professional in their fields, and someone that suits you as well. So it's a really great program if you need it. So it's really useful to find out about everyone's criteria. So thank you. Now I just want to talk about red flags. So what would stop you from going forward with a company? What would put you off? So Tom, would you like to go first?
Yeah, obviously it's sort of opposite of everything I've just discussed previously, but especially in the interview process, it's sort of generally seeing inflexibility. One of the ones I've seen, at least in the software engineer sort of side of things, is when they're testing you, it's quite a rigid structure. They're not really testing to see if you're a good engineer, you know, asking you the right questions and seeing how you understand it. They just kind of check to see if you know, say, X technology. And for me, that's a bit of a red flag, because at the end of the day, I want to be learning and problem solving on the job and not just go, yes, I know how to do this, so I can do that. And by extension, obviously, I want to be in a role where people are actually enthusiastic about what they do. So it's not just a means to an end. So rather than it just being, oh, yes, okay, I solved this problem, it's, oh, I really want to figure out how to optimize this for the best case.
Brilliant. Thank you, Tom. And Robertas, how about you?
I'd say probably biggest red flag would be if the work-life balance isn't right within the workspace. So we've all got lives, and there's stuff beyond just work, and ideally you wouldn't want to be pressured to be working through weekends just because there's a client that you need to fulfill their requirements by this and this time. Yeah, it's just the expectation and the ability to have flexible work arrangements, if when possible, I think is very important. Yeah.
Thank you, Robertus. Yeah, so work-life balance is really important as well. It shouldn't always be about that. You should, like you said, there's life outside of work too, so that is important to have that balance. And Struan, hi. How about you?
Yeah, so I think managers being able to encourage you without stressing you out, I think is a really big one, because work-life balance is super important. But if you're spending 7 hours a day working and you're incredibly stressed the whole time, that's a nightmare, right? You're never going to look forward to that. So having, encouragement from your managers who are enthusiastic in the topic and, want to help you, don't just feel like they're obliged to. Yeah, that's my main points.
Yeah, great. No, that is a really good point, Struan. You want to feel supported as well. You don't want to feel like almost like you're a burden or anything to your manager. You want them to be excited to help you, right? So great. So then, as you're coming to the end of your university career, you might have learnt a lot along the way. But are there any new skills that you'd like to develop on, or any existing skills that you'd like to improve on? Tom.
Yeah, so the first one, I guess, kind of the most obvious one, is I want to further my programming skills. I wouldn't say I have a specific affinity to any language or any technology. I'm much more of a, I'd want to use the best technology for the job. So in that case, I'd rather prefer to hone my general programming skills as opposed to being, say, a Python expert. And then beyond that, I'm actually would be interested in developing my sort of leadership and project management skills a bit further. While I've got some experiences through sort of small projects, it would be lovely in a sort of medium term to be able to learn how to, lead a team into success.
Great. Thank you, Tom. Yeah, those are really important skills to have, 100%. So thank you. Robertas, how about you?
Yeah, so similar to Tom, with leadership improvement as well. I think for me, one of my bigger weaknesses, I've been working on this a lot in the recent years, is like soft skills and presentation skills. Doing an engineering degree, it's a lot of, you're deep in the numbers, you're deep in the matrices, and you don't have that human to human sort of collaboration as much. And as I want to endeavor in my own sort of business ventures later on, I would like to develop those further. Yeah, so soft skills is on the top of my priority
Right.
list.
Thank you, Robertas and Struan. How about you?
Yeah, so on the practical side, kind of application of coding and stuff, of course, I think we're all giving the kind of same answers on that front. There's always more to learn, right? There's always better applications and more things that you can understand. Soft skills, communication, definitely valuable. I mean, I work as a tutor currently, so that is all about just communication of ideas. I've done a lot of essay writing and presentations, but I haven't done so much communication with stakeholders, stuff like that. Completely different side. And while talking to clients, I've only been on the kind of side of being a tutor and having a skill that you're passing on rather than a good in that sense. So maybe that would be interesting to learn as well.
Great. Thank you very much. So, then after being invited to an interview, for example, I'm sure you'd want to know a little bit more about the company beforehand. So, how would you research companies to find out as much as possible about them? Tom.
Yeah, I imagine it's sort of a very standard procedure for most people, but I would look at the website, and then from there, I often go to the socials and then reviews of the page, because often the more real information you'll find out is from other people who have worked there previously or people who have interacted with the company, say, as a customer, as opposed to the website themselves, because that gives a good idea of sort of what the values and the culture is like of the company. And then sometimes I also look at if it's an industry I'm not super familiar with, I often look at the sort of competitors and sort of see what the general industry is like, because that can also give you a good sign of what the company might be like.
Brilliant. Thanks, Tom. Yeah, I think looking at the competitors is a really good point to make as well. It might look all fine and fancy on their website, but another company might be completely different in a good or bad way. So it's good to kind of get a perspective on all of them across the board. And Robertas, how about you? Oh, I think you're just on mute.
So I really like Glassdoor, the website Glassdoor, where it's like anonymous employee reviews, and people can put in their salary ranges, their bonuses, the work culture that they have at the company, what are the pros and cons of working there, and I think that's really good. It doesn't the fact that it's anonymous, you're not tarnishing your own reputation in any kind of way, and you're leaving an honest review. But yeah, I first start off usually with just going on the company website, looking at their study cases, what kind of projects they work on, and I like to also go through LinkedIn, through whoever I can find in that could potentially be my line manager, also the person who would be interviewing me.
Right. Thank you. Yeah, Glassdoor is a really good insight into the company from an employer's perspective. I mean, sometimes you do have to take it with a pinch of salt, but for the most part, it is quite accurate and it gives you a good understanding of the company. So yeah, thank you, Robertas. And Struan, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, definitely Glassdoor, but I was going to mention as well, Pinch of Salt, right? Easy to have disgruntled people putting reviews there, and can kind of alter it a little bit. But definitely that, looking in depth in the website, there's often like hidden little pages that can tell you interesting things that if you look hard, you can find. Also, yep, competitors and any investment, if they've had investment from any kind of banks as well, they normally issue a sort of statement on why. And I think that can be quite an interesting insight.
I like that one. I haven't heard that one before. So yeah, that's a really good way to have a look into them as well. Thank you, Struan. So then after you've consulted all of the aspects we've just discussed, what is your final deciding factor that makes you want to apply for that job? Tom.
It's kind of, for me, it's obviously a combination of everything we've talked about so far. I think the final factor for me has to be, it's kind of a gut feeling, actually. It's, do I feel excited at the prospect of working at this company and the prospect of doing this job, which is sort of a summary of, the role description. If it describes some key, say, industries or some key sort of values that really align with me, then that will get me quite excited, along with, the growth and development options. Sort of a combination of those kind of factors makes me decide whether I just feel ready for it. And if I'm not excited, then more than often than not, I just won't apply, because I want to be doing a job I'm excited by at the end of the day.
Great. Thank you, Tom. Yeah, that's a great point. And Robertas, how about you?
Yes, again, very, very similar to Tom. There's, for the job, what do you call them? Job, sorry.
That's all right. Descriptions?
Yeah, so what your, day to day would be like, and if it needs to have some sort kind of innovation, some kind of new technology, not just mundane and just boring tasks, working on something fulfilling. But yeah, again, got instinct as well, and location. Um, there's, at first my scope of job roles that, in terms of the location, was throughout the UK, and further down the line, I've started to filter down and where I actually want to go. Because at first, I had the mindset of I'll go anywhere. It's my first role. It's difficult to get the good first role that you want. But yeah, I'm at the stage now where I'm choosing mostly places either remote or Manchester, because I'm pretty set on continuing to further develop my business with my partners. So that's at the top of my list now.
Great. Thank you, Robertas. And Struan, how about you?
Yeah, so I suppose it depends what kind of job it is. Like if it's more kind of long-term projects, if it's something like that, I'm looking for it to be really rewarding at the end. If you're spending so much time, you don't want it to just disappear, right? So knowing that that's going to be in place, knowing what it is like day to day, is a really good insight into, whether you think you'll enjoy the job or not. Flexibility, salary is super important as well, and probably most important again is work-life balance, definitely.
Brilliant. Great. Thank you all so much. I really love all your points for the deciding factor. You want to feel excited for the job with your gut feeling. You want it to, the day-to-day duties to sound exciting as well, almost as if the person that's written the description is excited about the job, so that does help. But great, so thank you all so much. It's been really great to hear, and I wish you all the best for the rest of the year. I will just mention for those who are watching, you can access our Rising Stars by visiting the link in the description below. So it's grb.uk.com/rising-stars. And then you can click View Rising Stars, and each person will have a little bio about themselves and a little photo, so you know who is who. And then you can click the View Candidate and request their CV. So if you would like to contact me with any questions, all my details are on the screen just at the bottom here. Yeah, thank you so much for watching our webinar, and we'll be back with 3 more Rising Stars in a couple of months for you to find out about. And I just want to thank Tom, Robertas, and Struan for joining us today and letting us know a bit more about you and what you're looking for in an employer. So thank you so much, everyone. Take care.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.